audio voice. Okay. So I'd like to welcome everybody to the third town hall of Magento Association in 2025. We have a default standard, you all know it by now, agenda. We will start with a welcome of our president. Then we will get through all initiative updates that we have. Then we will have the fireside Q&A session, followed up by the closing. Jörg's already posting the links to the fireside Slido in the chat from time to time. Here we go. Thank you very much for that. Please feel free to tuck your question in, and then we can move on. That being said, I would hand over to our president, Slava. Take it away.
Sure. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Magento Association Town Hall. Fantastic to see you all from different corners of the world and our global community. I'll kick off with this picture that you probably have seen. That's the screenshot I made 9 months ago when our board kicked off the year, and we sat together to think about the priorities and pick which areas would be our ambitious targets for this year. And we made those promises to you based on what you told us is most important to us and to you as a community. And one of those was also hosting the regular town halls. So I'm proud to be here today and share with you all just how far we come as volunteer-led organization. You probably saw results coming out from our regular communication, and you will hear from my MA peers today on each of their areas of responsibility. But just some of the short highlights are that we managed to achieve a steady membership growth of 17% year to date this year. We also are having almost a record year with Meet Magento events. We have 14 events in the calendar for this year throughout the world. We revived some of the older ones like Meet Magento Ukraine that took part more than 10 years ago at this point. So I'm really happy about the renewed interest in hosting those events. And of course, huge kudos and thanks to all of our organizers. And we'll hear more updates today from Jamie from the events committee. We also piloted some of the new initiatives that we were just having in the big kind of picture plan, such as helping facilitate so-called community pavilions, where we help bring Magento open source brand out in the world and step up as community, as different companies together to get that marketing message out about the platform. On top of that, our marketing department, our marketing committee has been on fire, and you might have already watched the podcast that we revived. You might have seen a lot of communication on LinkedIn. You might have seen an updated newsletter. You'll also learn about that today, as well as updates on dev docs, on our community council initiative, where we help Adobe work with the code and also work with maintainers in the community. And all I can say is we really step up as a community this year. It feels like we have a lot of passion, a lot of energy that we put in there, and it's all thanks to all of you participating and driving this thing forward. I believe no single person, no single organization could do anything even remotely close to what we do and manage to do as the community. Also, our election committee just completed its work, and I'll be thrilled to present to you the slate that election committee recommended and the board approved. I'll do this at the end of the meeting, but you also will hear throughout the meeting from Andreas, our committee chair, assistant chair for the election committee, about the process and how it all worked and what would be the next step for you guys to also vote on the slate and ratify it. But the most important thing I wanted to share with you is this is not about the board. Our mission is to empower our Magento community on every level. And perhaps the best testament to this is this time we have 3 committee representatives that will be speaking. And this is first time in MA history. So I'm proud to get more people involved, more people elevated within our community, and have us all working together. And I want you to know that this is your association. We are here for you and because of you. And I invite you all to lean in. Please participate, ask the tough questions, use this QR code, use the link you see in the chat to type in questions on Slido, vote for the questions. But also get involved with our association. Sign up as a member, get involved in the committees that are interesting to you, and find your place to contribute. Let's shape our future of Magento together. Thank you.
Here we go. Yeah, that leads to the major initiative updates, where all of our committee leaders, all their board representatives will give you the quick update on what's going on, starting with Ollie. Here you go.
Thank you, Matthias. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Town Hall. It's a pleasure to be here and provide you the updates on the membership initiatives that are going on at the moment. Hopefully, at the next Town Hall, Katie Wilson will be presenting the membership updates. Katie is a new member of the membership committee and has definitely come in with some real gumption to help kind of push things forwards. With regards to the major updates on the membership side, we are currently 17% year-to-date growth on the membership base. And a big thing that I'm kind of noticing within the kind of community events and conversations I'm having in the region where I'm primarily based in the UK and EMEA is there is this kind of word of mouth kind of spread. As members are joining, there's been quite a few members this year that have then been very active, and when Jamie presents some of the events updates, you'll see those with regards to the pavilions that have been going on. So members actually kind of joining, or the community joining the Magento Association membership base gives us more power, Oh, who's being cheeky and playing with them? The more members that we have, the more power. And when I say the more power, the more ability we have to do things, the more hands we have to be able to bring initiatives to life. It brings in funding, and it also then opens doors for us with sponsors. The bigger the community, the bigger the impression that we make within that. So the ask on the membership side of stuff at the moment is, if you're not a member, become a member, speak to your friends, get them to become members, and reach out to us as well. So obviously there is the membership committee email address, which is committee-memberships@magentoassociation.org, and we would like to hear from you. That's a short and sweet update from the membership side, and I'm going to hand over to Jamie Huskisson, who leads out the events committee, to give you some really exciting updates on the event side of things. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ollie. So I have the wonderful privilege of talking about events where all those members get together and everything else. So let's go to our first slide. So since the last town hall, we've had 2 wonderful Meet Magento events. We've had Ukraine at the start of September and Italy at the end of September. I just wanted to start by saying how proud I am of both of these organisers, how proud we are as a committee that they did what they did. It is hard to do, and they made it look easy. And you can see in social media, they are being rightfully praised for so many aspects of their event, from the shares, the involvement, the way they pushed forward the association. They did us really proud. So I want to start with this one. But as we go to the next slide, you're going to say, Jamie, but I want some of that too. I didn't go to those 2 events. How do I get some more? I went to those 2. I want to see some more. So we're going to switch to the next slide. There we go. And you're right, there are plenty of them to go. And we have 8 here listed, everything from New York as a huge return to the excellent Dutch in the Netherlands doing yet another amazing event. The debuts of Canada and Philippines here, return of Poland, Egypt, and note the date change here, all the way into next year with India and Florida returning for a great start to the year. Now, you're going to say, Jimmy, where do I find more of this? Where do I find these people? Where do I find these different events? I'm going to say the marketing committee is doing a great job across the board right now. The easiest way is to get onto the Magento Association socials, the newsletter, etc., and you'll be signposted to all of these. But of course, they all have their own accounts, websites, everything else to find. Just before I get to the next one, plenty of offers being produced across the board for these. So New York and Canada, for example, has free merchant tickets with the code MAVIP, all one word there, and I'm sure everybody else does as too. So if you're an organizer, how you can help us as a committee, so just include an opt-in for your call for speakers. So we want to create a global call for papers so that we can help the wonderful speakers who travel and speak at these events about so many wonderful aspects of our ecosystem, find more of our events, but also help the organizers who are maybe starting from smaller databases, less people on their lists, etc., just find those things. They're not subscribed to anything else. They are purely given a FYI, this call for papers got released kind of email, nice and simple. Secondly, share that opt-in data with the association promptly. Let's make sure that they know everything to know about the association, that's rubbing off into the marketing that the association does. Consider the offers and discounts for the association members that you're offering. So we want to see like a default thing of, okay, you've got 10% off, 20% off your tickets. But what we're seeing across the board is a lot of different organizers have a lot of different approaches, everything from 1 day early access to a limited amount of tickets to early access to the pre-party that, you know, in a lot of cases sells out very, very quickly. It's a bit of a gold dust trying to get a pre-party ticket to a Meet Magento event these days. So we can get creative with this, but equally give us feedback, right? Tell us the things you're doing, because we want to make sure that we're spreading those nice things around other organizers so they can learn from the excellent things you are doing. If you're applying to be a Meet Magento organizer, just give us the detail. Make sure that we know everything up front and we know how passionate you are. That's what we really want. But also just let us know your dates. What we're seeing some of the time, very, very small fraction of the time, is dates can change. We get that. It's hard, especially when you're making big deposits and venues do the things that they do to us as organizers behind the scenes. We just want to help you help us and help us help you and all the rest of it. Just make sure that it's nice and smooth. So let's go on to our next slide. So Ollie referenced it earlier, Slava referenced it earlier. It was a big thing on the Miro board at the start of this presentation around pavilions and making sure that we were able to bring more of the Magento ecosystem together at these different exhibitions where often other platforms are represented in a big way, in a small way, etc. And we felt as an association, as an events committee, that we needed to do more of this from a Magento perspective. So Ollie really spearheaded the charge for this, really great idea, put a lot of love and affection into it. And I want to highlight 2 people that have done a really great job for this. First here is Hoover in Cologne this year, delivering this, flying the flag with agency partners. And hopefully you can see the wonderful image there of all 8 of those partners on that big banner. Just really big praise for Hoover and Molly in the way that they do this. I know this isn't the first time. It's the first time it's in here, but it will be there again and again. So just big praise to them. And then next slide, I want to praise Hypernode, who speared the charge on e-commerce expo and brought in Foundation Commerce, Object Source, and Immersive to put together representation this year at e-commerce expo. For those of you who aren't in the UK, this is our biggest exhibition. This is where you will typically see stands that are absolutely massive per platform, because this is a tentpole event in the year. So to have these 4 come together under the Magento banner, to have commerce with no limitations, have a really great tagline that's really nailing things and representing us so well as an ecosystem, as an association. Can't say enough credit to these guys. Absolutely amazing. I also hear too that Hoover have signed for an even bigger pavilion next year. Sorry, Willem, if that's brand new news to you. I see you in the background with the emoji reactions. I will post a link to the expression of interest that they have posted on LinkedIn in the channel if someone doesn't get there first in the next 10 minutes, because they are asking for, if we can get enough people interested, we're absolutely going to do this. And we need to rally around that. Absolutely. So next slide. Just let us know if you're doing it, if you're considering it, if you think there's an opportunity in your area. If you think, well, I think there's this place, I think I can get it done, let us know, work with us, reach out. If you're doing one and it's, you've already got it underway, tag the association, just make us aware that way instead. We're more than happy to find out later on. We just want to know. We want to promote you, push people to those pavilions, but also just help you do even better. One planned in Italy in 2026, Matthias says in the chat there. So it's great that this idea is gathering even more momentum from the two excellent examples we've just shown. So next up, another great execution of events in our ecosystem is seeing the Agency Roundtables in the UK go from strength to strength. They have been organized for a while now by a contingent of 4 in Moli, Akuva, and now Adobe Commerce, previously Clayville and a bunch of other companies. This time round, it was Molly's chance to organise, which is why their name's first. I like to pick the current organiser of that roundtable. And they did another excellent job of bringing together a lot of agency CEOs and senior staff to talk about the shared challenges, the collaborations, how we can all do better, share knowledge, and really just resonate around, yes, we do compete against each other in different pitches here and there, but we're all here for the benefit of the ecosystem. We want Magento to do well. We want the association to do well, and so on. So big kudos to these 4 for doing yet another great event. Next slide. So obviously, if you're wanting to do more of that, if you're inspired by that, we want more of them. Ultimately, we think that it's a model that will work worldwide, that we think that, especially from a technology standpoint, it helps you get your partners together. It helps to get the Magento platform together and just share that challenge, learn a bunch of knowledge, but also from an ecosystem perspective, an invaluable behind closed doors way to get together and just have that. We call it in the UK Chatham House rules of, it stays in the room, whatever you say in the room. The ability to do that with other people that are like-minded in the same position as you, invaluable. I'm going to stop using the word invaluable, even though the next slide has another invaluable part of events in our ecosystem, which is the meetup. So lifeblood of our community, we want to keep them going. We want to see people set them up, bring them back. We want more. We want to hear from an events committee standpoint from organizers of different meetups so that we can just connect the dots a bit more, help other meetup organizers meet other meetup organizers and share those different tips. But we also, just like the roundtables, just like the pavilions, we just want to help promoting them. Ultimately, the marketing committee can't promote things they don't know about, and the events committee, we want to be going, hey, here's these things. So we're working in tandem towards those shared goals. If you are an organizer, you let us know. We will promote you, tag the association. We'll do everything we can from there to celebrate your success and you coming together and everything else. Thank you. Over to Martin.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm here today to represent the marketing committee. And when I was asked to make it, my first thought was how to make sure we can make a shout out for the people that made it possible. So I'm here to share not only our achievements, but who stands behind it. So please, next slide. Yeah, so we're starting with our LinkedIn person, Ollie. Ollie is responsible for everything that relates to LinkedIn. She made more than 50 unique posts during last 3 months from previous town hall. It means like thousands, yeah, definitely thousands of unique impressions. 50, yes, 50, exactly. So thousands impressions in LinkedIn, like make Magento more visible for the community and outside of the community. Next slide, please. Yulia is responsible for our newsletter. She revamped newsletter. Now you can see it in a new, more attractive design. Like we're working on more targeted newsletters. I hope this month you should see one more dedicated to Meet Magento events newsletter, and many new and fresh stuff that we are sharing in regular newsletter. Next slide, please. Matt Harris is the person who revived podcast. You probably already enjoyed several episodes available, and we share it in LinkedIn. And we have already at least 2 more filmed and ready to be shared with you, and many more that at the moment we are preparing for you. So next slide, please. York is the person that is responsible for all communication that comes to Magento Association. So when you enter Magento Association, all welcome emails, all emails about elections, or any interaction with Magento Association normally goes through York. Always with a smile, always welcoming. Thank you, York, for that. Next slide, please. And we have some more team members that are responsible for content creation, our, let's say, different initiatives related to YouTube, or revamping our blog, or just creating technical posts, or organizing different networking communication with other blogs. So thank you, team, as well, Aaron, Sean, Suzanne, and Laura for your efforts. Next slide, please. We have huge plans. We have ambitious goals, but the case is that we are at the moment limited in capacity. Let's imagine at the moment I see more than 50 people attending this meeting, like almost 60, 59. So if everyone will create just small piece of content that we can align as a, let's say, streamlined strategy, aligned strategy, it will be huge impact. It means every next day we can post new blog post, new message, new video, everything that make more, let's say, visibility for Magento, and it means huge, bigger pie for all of us. So if you would like to volunteer just to create a small blog post, just join us. We'll give you one-off initiative. You can deliver the results and see how it goes. If you like the process, you can proceed. If not, like, it's fine. You already contributed a lot. So please shut the message to us, and we are waiting for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Sergej. Handing over to Andreas of the election committee. This is so weird that we're so many people from the committee speaking. It throws my entire script off. Andreas, you ready to go?
You're on mute, Andreas.
Let's do that again. Are we here?
Cannot hear you still.
Should work. His co-host should be able to speak.
Maybe change the audio source, Andreas.
Fair enough. No, we'll just do the classic restart, throwback from pandemic times. There we go. Host. Now that should work.
So can you hear me now?
Awesome. There he is.
Okay, some problems
Perfect.
switching speakers in between. Okay,
Go ahead.
so here we are. I'm one of 6 election committee members. It's Aaron, Slava, Brent, Tink, Andreas, and me. 6 experienced people from 6 different companies, 6 different countries, 3 continents, but only 1 gender. That's one of the problems I want to approach next year. Yeah, it's kind of obvious we want to make a good decision on who to suggest as new board members. I think we did so far, but we can always get some more input from more people which are more representative, let's say. So there was some confusion in the past about how the election process works, even from long-time association members. So I want to go through it quickly again. So we have 2 different tracks which are completely independent. So we have one application form where candidates apply, and community votes for usually one of the seats of the new boards, and it's very simple. The winner becomes a new board director. This has been Jakub this year, but it's not the people with the most votes we are taking into account for the slate process. So the second pass is a slate process, and even if you have not been voted for by any by any association member, you are still available for the slate process. So that's where the election committee comes into place, and we see all the applications. We give first ratings by reviewing the applications by a few standards, counting the points we give, and then selecting the top-rated candidates from the applications. And then we'll do interviews. Interviews with a couple of people, can be 5 people, can be 10 people. And usually it's 2 committee members plus Jörg, who interview the applicants. And then every election committee members watches all the other interviews. So it's not only the 2 election committee members who gives the rating, but everyone, because everyone has watched at least the interviews. And based on that, we have a common rating on also interviewed persons, and we get down to a meeting and discuss our findings. And it doesn't have to be exactly the top-rated members, but there are other things to take into account as well. I'll get to that in a moment. Once we have a decision for how many seats we have to fill, we send our decision to the board. The board has another consultation round, and usually they just give the approval. We haven't experienced yet that they don't give the approval. In that case, we would go back to the previous step and present another slate suggestion. And in the end, we have an approval by members. So now you might ask, why do we have that complicated process? Why don't we just do a direct election? And to be honest, I asked this question at first as well. But now, after having seen this from the inside, I see the reasoning behind that. And the reasoning is not that the election committee can make the better decision because they are better people or so. No, they can make a more thorough decision because they spend more time with it and have more insights. Because we spend time reading all the applications, spending time preparing the interviews, interviewing the people, watching all the interviews, spending a few hours, at least 1 hour, to discuss all the interviews and the people who took part in them. And only then we give a suggestion for which people should be the upcoming board members. So it's not only a direct election, because that could be unbalanced, let's say. So there's also there's some criteria which we take into account when we are selecting the new board members, or we are not selecting them, we are suggesting them. First up, it's about leadership, governance, and execution capability, mostly their experience in leadership roles, some examples where they delivered results in the past, and willingness to actively contribute time and effort. Then we have knowledge about the Magento ecosystem and community commitment, which is very important. So we look at what they did in the past, for example, in committees, for example, organizing events, other contributions and projects. Also, if they understand Magento's challenges and opportunities. Then we have strategic vision and innovation, where we talk about how they think strategically and ideas they have for advancing the Magento Association's mission. For example, we ask them a question like, what initiatives would you start, and get into details with them. But also it's about insight into global trends and implications for the Magento ecosystems. Then we have the diversity of the board and representation. So, for example, if you already have 5 agency owners from Western European countries, we won't select a 6th one probably, except it's a fantastic person, let's say, with a great track record. But usually we try to balance it from regions, from backgrounds, from all kinds of diversity. It's not always easy, but we try to. And in the past, I think the results were fine. And also it's about personality. So if someone's really not suited for a board position from our point of view, then they won't be selected by us, but we haven't experienced that yet. Okay, that's it from me. Back to Matthias.
Yep, and immediately handing over to our Dutch devil, Danny. I guess the mic is working.
Hope so.
Will you click the slides yourself?
Yeah, sure. No worries.
Awesome. Take it away.
Yeah, thank you. So first of all, let me say that I am incredibly proud of the team of this committee that I'm working with. I picked this topic out of the list that we created at the board meeting in January because it's close to my heart. And I do see real benefit for the community in it. And at that point, you're already thinking about the kind of like the end result that you want to achieve. However, with this team, we are certainly going above and beyond that. So really proud of them and really proud of the progress that we've made over the last, I don't know, like 4 or 5 months. So then we go to the next slide where we have the progress. So currently what we're at is the design and the UI has been created for the documentation side. The other thing is that we developed a AI agent that actually pulls in the data and checks it itself if the guides are correct that are being created. Up to this point, the AI has created 47 different guides for the merchant documentation. We're currently in the progress of reviewing those manually. We do see still some gaps that we need to tweak. The pull requests that have been created can be viewed on GitHub, so anybody can view them already, look through them, or either give a comment, and then we will look into that, and I guess we will regenerate those one more time to fix any gaps in the knowledge and other stuff. And then we're actually close to launching this. Merchant documentation will go up first. Goal is to do that by the end of this month, October 2025. Once that is done, we're moving forward with developer documentation. Now we have some screenshots of what we're currently doing. So this is the internal tool creating the documentation, the different AI tools working together. Really nice work by Dave Lumbauer. And then Chris has created the design of the new documentation sites. This also sparked a conversation about the bigger brand strategy for Magento open source. So we're looking to continuing this theme to the other properties as well. One thing that you do see in the screenshot here is the top navigation bar. One thing that I also noticed that we have quite a lot of properties. Magento open source, Meet Magento, Magento Association. There's no coherence between the different properties, and with that top bar, you can easily navigate through them. So we're also looking to implement that across the different web properties that we currently have. So this is going to be the homepage. When you scroll a little bit down, you would see the actual topics for the merchants that they can select: start selling, manage catalog, handle orders. There are a couple of more, and then they can go into the different guides. And then last is the actual documentation page, which will look like this in format, where you have still the menu on the left-hand side to go through the different guides, and the main page where the content is located. Yeah, I think that's it. Hopefully everybody's happy and looking forward to launching by the end of the month.
Awesome. Thanks, Danny, for that. That's pretty huge, especially because it pulls like a wider range in terms of the centralized branding. Next up is the community council work. Laura, mic's working.
Hello.
Awesome.
Thank you. So this will be quick. This is our existing community council. We are open to adding more people because there's a lot of work here to be done. Our biggest initiative right now is maintainers. So we're reviving the maintainers program. It's sort of drifted off a bit since the pandemic, and there's not as many active maintainers, and I'm sure you've all noticed that's getting reflected in the number of PRs that are getting merged. So we're going to be bringing back some existing maintainers and looking for new maintainers. So look out for a call for maintainers coming up probably in the next month or so. We're going to onboard them in waves so that it's not too many at a time. And then we're also going to be building tooling to help the maintainers and help the community work with the code base. So we want to have statistics around PRs getting merged and who's merging them and who's not merging, maintaining them and who's working on them, and also allow people to find stuff that they want to work on. And then finally, while we're doing this, the community PR upvoting process is still in play. So make sure to get your crew together and find the PRs you want to upvote. Hoping to really, like that process will still be in place, but we'll be able to refine it a little more so you can find PRs easier. And that's pretty much it. If you want to be a maintainer, look out for probably a LinkedIn post and sign up. We're definitely going to be needing some people.
Perfect. Thank you, Laura, for that. There's also a couple things to do within Forger, which will be the coding fun place. I would assume we can call it that. There's a couple things going on here, which is a great segue over to Jakub, who I could already hear in the background. Jakub, go ahead.
All right, so hi everybody. I would like to start with a big thank you to all the community, because thanks to you, I'm part of this Magento Association board, so I'm truly honored, and I hope I won't disappoint. I'll go through a couple updates we want to do, and are actually, some of them are completed, some of them are currently in development regarding the Magento Association Hub. So make sure that you log in there with your Magento Association member account, because we do have, by now, I would say the basic version of the case study manager completed. So as an agency or a freelancer, you can submit any case study that you regarding Magento open source, Adobe Commerce, or Adobe Cloud project. So make sure that you submit a case study, and please make it be an actual case study, how Magento has improved the business, how it helped merchants grow, and what are the benefits of actually using Magento in this case study. We don't want those, and I'll be honest, to be like a marketing pitch for an agency, because we need people to start talking about Magento and what a great way it is to actually have a fully managed case studies, which will be available on Magento Association Hub and maybe on a couple more websites, but I'll get through it. I'll get to it in a moment. Next, we got like an event calendar. So we created a module that allows to create a place within Magento Association Hub to have all the e-commerce related events within Magento Association Hub. So if you are having like a local meetup, you are organizing Meet Magento event, Mage Titans, Magento conference, or whatever e-commerce event related there is, you can submit it with the event calendar, and it will be available both on Magento Association Hub and through REST API. And the third module, which is under development, is a professional service listing. It's basically, I think that some of you have been there within Magento 1 days. We had this nice freelancer and agency catalog. So put it simply, we are bringing it back. And as Laura said, we need developers and maintainers, but we also need some help, because most of this stuff, I developed this myself with help from 01 and go ahead from Finland, from Alex, so thanks for that. Like I mentioned, you can log into the Magento Association Hub. You can see my events and my case studies. Keep in mind, this is the version 1, so the forms are pretty simple. They're a little bit more advanced in the admin, because there is a lot of sections to manage the different front ends, the different extension vendors, hosting technologies, and so on. So I'm not showing any screenshots, because I want you to get in there, see that, and actually provide us with a good feedback how we can improve those modules. All the modules that have been developed are also on GitHub. So if you find any issues, any problems, any improvement ideas, make sure that you create maybe a pull request or raise an issue within Calibre repositories. We also have the Magento Association Hub page. Is also on a private repository on GitHub. Happy to have more people joining this in the development process. And why we want to do this? I basically managed this a moment ago. So we want to start showing great Magento and Adobe Commerce projects to make sure that those projects are actually visible. Because right now, some good projects are mostly on agencies' website, and we need to have those under Magento Association or on Magento open source, so people actually see and hear about Magento once again. And all the things that you see here, which is a case study, event calendar, and a professional service listing, all of those modules connect with an Elasticsearch index and have a fully working REST API. So if you want to put the event calendar on your website or a different website, which is maybe not even Magento related, you will be able to patch this whole data and configuration for all the modules through the REST API. But those are only 3 modules. But I also would like to get a feedback from the community, what else you would like to see on Magento open source or maybe on Magento Association Hub. I put some ideas here. Case studies are one thing, but maybe a success story, how moving to Magento or Adobe Commerce improved the business for the merchants. Maybe you want a YouTube listing with the videos like this one, promoting a vlog or a blog. So let us know your ideas, how we can even improve Magento brand visibility much more. So, and most of all, I need you guys to test what we built, because it's just me and Matthias actually testing all that stuff. And for us, it works. But the more case studies we have, the more event calendars we have, the more people try to test things on different browsers, different devices, different engines, the better, because we need people also to test the features, but also maybe to submit some ideas to us. Because, okay, we do have a lot of ideas how to improve it, but maybe some of them are not actually valuable to do it. Maybe community, maybe Magento or Adobe Commerce visibility needs something else. That's why we need your feedback. That's why we need your help. And that's it from my end. Thanks, guys. And again, thank you very much for making me part of Magento Association Board. I truly appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Jakub, for this and all the insanely hard work. I mean, it kind of jugs into my late nights when Jakub just starts mailing me at 10 p.m. going like, "Hey, I got an idea. Let's hop on a call." I still enjoy it though. All right, moving over to Ritesh. You here?
Yep.
Awesome,
Okay.
everything works.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. So glad to spend a few minutes with everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning to folks like us on the West Coast. Noah, I see you. I hope you have your cup of coffee there. I want to spend a few minutes just talking about updates from the Adobe side. But before I do that, I'm always excited to see all of the progress that we make on the board. This time, as Slava mentioned, there's a lot going on. And if you have been on the sidelines thinking about getting involved in some way, shape, or form, I think there's an area for someone to get, for you to get involved in. So please start. That's the best way to do it. Given that, let's talk a little bit about what's been going on the Adobe side. There has been a lot going on in 2025. I just wanted to summarize some of that for us here today, and then talk a little bit about the community and touch upon sort of where we're headed, especially working with community. So let's see. Let's build this slide out. As we all know, right, commerce within Adobe has been sort of on a journey. So it started out with, post-acquisition, integrating business and processes, investing in Magento Enterprise at that time. How do we scale it with digital experience customers? Then we started to focus on extensibility, bringing in microservices, and then also started to develop plug-and-play integrations, and really started to focus on integrating it with the rest of the Adobe solutions, analytics, Target, AEM, even the Creative Suite. And now going forward in 2025, as we all are realizing, there is a obviously push towards SaaS. We're looking at reducing costs for customers. How do we engage the community with those initiatives? And also, how does this world of AI look? And those are all areas that we're going to continue to be pushing on going forward. In that spirit, you've all probably heard of the latest launch of Adobe Commerce as a cloud service, which is a true SaaS offering from Adobe. It's built with App Builder and API Mesh as the technology there. And you could see that, I think I just want to clarify that this Adobe Commerce as a cloud service, what we're talking about here, it is a grouping of technologies that we have had at Adobe. So you can think about it as bundling. Like if you look at the commerce portion of it, it's one piece of this whole bundle, basically, right? So you've got a lightning fast storefront, a catalog solution, and then finally the Commerce Foundation. So it is a aggregation of technologies that we've had here at Adobe, sort of hanging out on their own, and now sort of everything packaged together in a seamless way. It's been received very well with customers. We're in the process of talking to folks to see which ones are the right ones to get on top of this offering, and so more to come on that. That being said, you all, and we may have created a little bit of confusion with our second introduction of product called Adobe Commerce Optimizer. And I just wanted to spend a few minutes talking about Commerce Optimizer just to make sure that people understand what the difference is. Adobe Commerce Optimizer is an experience layer that can pair with any third-party commerce backend. So we've heard from customers on like, hey, I'm married to this backend system for a little while. I've got a lot invested, a lot of customizations, but how can I start to make the transition to Adobe? And this is that way to do it. So it has all of the pieces that you can see. This is a good comparison. All of the pieces of commerce as a cloud service, except for the commerce backend. And instead of the commerce backend, it can connect to any other third-party backend that's available, right? So anyone who's interested in getting some of the other benefits around assets, the merchandising services, the storefront, and of course the power of app builder and API mesh, Commerce Optimizer is something that's available. So as you all start to think about how you're talking to merchants, how you want to get involved, and how you sort of position Magento versus the Adobe products, I wanted to at least make sure that that information was available to everyone. Okay, but probably more importantly, what does that mean for the rest of the products that we already have out? I want to go on record saying, as of today, there is no end date to any of the other products that we have out. So we will continue to support the existing platforms. The way that we're approaching this is sort of through choice today. We think that for the right customers, the SaaS platform is going to be compelling enough, app builder and out-of-process extensibility is going to be compelling enough, and those are the right customers. This is not a play to take a new marketing avenue to open source customers. I don't think at this point Commerce SaaS or ACO could be the right play for some of the less sophisticated or open source community. And so I just want to make it clear that we're going to continue to support the existing offerings that we have. We're dedicated towards the open source code base. And for the people that are right, and that's where salespeople are having conversations, there is a path to cloud service. What comes along with that is the Exchange Marketplace. And the Exchange Marketplace is again now our new marketplace dedicated to these app builder apps, or the apps that will work with the new Commerce as a Cloud service. This is also, the Exchange Marketplace is also the place where we have apps available for all of our other products. So if you're looking for an analytics plugin or a target plugin, this is the marketplace. So it's broader than just commerce. It is all Adobe. For the time being, we're going to be delivering, anyone who builds an app builder app will get a listing here and also in the traditional marketplace, because an app builder app can work with Adobe Commerce as well. So I think that's one thing to just keep in mind as we move forward on this journey, that this is sort of where we're going. Okay, and I want to summarize this section up by basically showing how this fits into the ecosystem. I talked about this a little bit before, but the way that I want everyone here to think about this is that, yes, it's different, but it's additive. Like I said, App Builder can be used obviously in ACCS, or Adobe Commerce as a Cloud service, but also in PaaS and on-prem. And the Magento open source code base continues to operate in the same way that it is, and Adobe continues to support it in the way that we do today. So I think that is if there's one takeaway from everything we've talked about, this is sort of that takeaway slide to sort of show the differences and show that this is a new additive service that's coming into the Adobe and Magento ecosystem. Okay, now I want to switch focuses a little bit and talk a little bit about the innovation that we're driving, and then conclude really quickly here with community and the community contributions. So let me go ahead and advance. Okay. One of the things that we've been hearing about, and I think you've all been hearing about, is that LLM-based searches are here for product discovery. There's agents that people are talking about shopping on behalf of customers. So our goal is to help optimize discovery and conversion in this evolving space. There's going to be more to come here, more going to be to develop. But what we are doing is, for example, to enable discovery, we're building pathways for the product catalog to be visible on other AI platforms. We're building integrations to new Adobe products. There are new products in the Adobe ecosystem like LLM Optimizer and Brand Concierge that are surfaces to do some of that product discovery. We're building an MCP server to expose commerce catalog data to third-party developers for any agents they may be building. So this might be interesting to folks on this call to try to understand how to get access to this information and how to do clever and cool things that even Adobe can't do. And like I said before, we're going to continue to look at different ways to take this catalog data and integrate it more easily with existing Adobe products like Experience Manager or Sites Optimizer, or even the new LLM Optimizer and Brand Concierge. So I wanted to just tease this. This is not live yet. This is work in progress, but it is directions that we're looking at going into aggressively. And so you'll continue to see updates that are coming out in this area. But just know that this is one of the main focus points of 2026 going forward. Okay. Now, I want to touch upon and basically close with how proud I am on seeing the progress with PRs. And Laura talked about this a little bit earlier. I pulled this chart from a monthly newsletter that Parul and her team put together. The screenshot on the right is not very exciting, but it just reinforces what Laura was talking about. There's a list of PRs that get upvoted with thumbs up, and we're still using that process, which is great. But I want to turn everyone's attention to the pie chart where we can see that, since we started this community prioritization process, and it was kicked off because a few years ago, there was very anemic PR merging into the code base. And, there was perception that maybe 2 or 3 got merged every month, and that clearly wasn't enough to make a significant progress in how we're doing. So we can see here that, over the course of the last couple of years, we've merged 231 items, thanks to efforts from Adobe, but also thanks to the community. And closed off 138. So we are, and some of you may ask, well, okay, well maybe those are just small changes or something like that. I actually looked through a couple of the recent ones, and one of the ones that has been ready to get merged is an error in creating a promotion rule. So that's important for folks who actually want to try to sell stuff. There's also one which was around in a multi-store setup environment. The shipping confirmation email wasn't going out. Okay, that's a great customer experience win for a bug that existed. So those are the type of things that are actually coming in through the help of the community. And so I'm going to reiterate Laura's call for, if you want to be a maintainer, make an impact, help Adobe, help the community by identifying the right ones and merging. I mean, the process is working. It's happening, and we'd like a lot more force behind it going forward. So with that, I will conclude my section here. I'll be at Meet Magento New York. Looking forward to seeing everyone there. And in the meantime, if you have anything, please feel free to reach out. Thanks.
Thanks, Ritesh. And before we let you go, let me put you on the spot with just one question. And you mentioned about no plans to sunset or end of life for any offering. Just for the clarity, does that include offering of Magento open source?
Yes. Okay,
so you're not only talking about PaaS products, you also talk about Magento open source.
Yeah, I mean, as you all know, and I don't have to tell this, the community knows, right? Our PaaS offering is built off of the open source foundation, right? And so eliminating or stopping support of the open source means we're done with our PaaS business. So once that decision ever is made, which it is not, then I think we can have a serious conversation about open source. And I would not worry about it. I've recently heard some of that on social. I went in, I checked in with leadership, and they are equally confused as to why that message would be out there. Maybe some misinterpretation, it happens, but I want to be that person to tell you that as of right now, we have no plans. In fact, where Adobe's energy is focused on is some of the other innovation that I was talking about in launching ACCS, not in figuring out ways to deprecate open source. So let's not worry about that for now.
All right, thanks for clarification, Ritesh.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so thanks for the update. Extensive as always. So I'm happy to have that. Moving over to, I think, Slava, it's the last topic for today before the fireside, right? So
yes, before we move on to fireside, I'll take over again for announcement of our slate of the board directors. That just to walk you through the process. What happened again is we had our candidates in the community submit their applications, and election committee interviewed the candidates, did the scoring, and presented the proposed slate to the board, which the board approved. So now I need some dramatic music to present the slate, and I only have something here from Oscars.
No? Okay.
So our slate is Noah, Sergej, and Yisa. So congratulations, guys, on being on the slate. And now you may wonder, what is the next step? So the next step is for our community to ratify or confirm the slate. So starting from tomorrow, the vote will be launched. You all who are paid members of the Magento Association will receive email asking you to vote on whether you approve or reject the slate. And in case the slate is approved, those people will officially become elected board members for years 2026 and 2027, with their terms starting on 1st of January 2026. And in case it's not approved, the election committee will have to go back and source more candidates and propose a different slate. So just as a reminder, you cannot vote for any individual people on the slate. You can just approve or reject the slate as a whole, and the voting starts tomorrow. So good luck, our slate candidates, and congratulations. All right, that concludes my part, and I'm happy to invite everyone to our fireside Q&A and hand it over to York to MC the questions there.
Yes, I hope everyone can hear me fine. So everyone posed some questions. Some were uploaded. We're going to start and kick in with the first one. Matthias, can you please switch to the Fireside Live version, the Slido?
One, oh, there's a presentation thingy, right? Give
Yeah,
me a
the
sec.
presentation link, exactly.
It's still joining. It's still joining. Here we go.
All right, so first question coming up. By Anonymous. Agencies struggle with selling new Magento projects since its brand is fading out. Not present in e-commerce trade shows and bashed by competition. What to do?
So I can perhaps take this on a general level, and maybe Ritesh, you can help also. But from my perspective, at MA, the initiatives we have going on this year have been centered largely about the marketing efforts. So I believe we're doing a lot to popularize Magento open source in particular, with also the case studies initiative that Jakub demoed to showcase all the websites built on Magento open source, and the initiatives with community pavilions throughout the ecosystem. And this is, I can also see mentioned on the next question, with teaming up to promote Magento brand at Berlin Expo and other events. So this is exactly what MA is for and supporting. Of course, MA cannot just do this alone, but we can rally all the parties who want to get involved, and we see more and more of those collaborations in the future.
Yeah, and maybe to add to that, like we said during the whole meeting, we just need more manpower, right? And people to actually step up, come up with the booth. That's where the presence at e-commerce trade shows comes from. And what we have is we have great not footprints, but blueprints to see and show how those collaborations work between multiple agencies putting together a booth. We can provide the trademark usage for that, and that was always done rather easily. So that would be my few cents on this.
Would anybody else of the speakers like to join in answering this question?
Yeah,
Yes, Ollie.
Yeah.
Ollie, coming
All
in.
right, cool. Ollie?
I just wanted to add, unfortunately, I didn't get to go to the Mexico event that Hoover put on with the pavilion there, but obviously lots of feedback to it. I did get to go to Ecom Expo and see the Magento open source stand that was kicked off by Hypernode. Hypernode led that initiative. They booked the stand, and then they brought with them Object Source and Foundation Commerce to do that. From the Magento Association's perspective, we provided them with that, effectively that right to utilize the Magento open source brand. And as Danny's touched on with the branding stuff that's going forwards, big hope for next year is that we have those brand packs to work with. But that was a hugely successful pavilion at Ecom Expo, and that was the community, somebody leading, going, I'm going to book this, and I'm going to bring together 3 or 4 agency partners or tech partners, and we're going to fly that flag for Magento. It was so successful. On the day, Hoover have signed and again, I'm not going to commit to something that is maybe not quite correct, but the lines are that it's significantly bigger than what the pavilion was this year at Ecom Expo. So Hoover has seen that, and they've gone, hey, this is going to be phenomenal. Their plans are to bring multiple agency partners to that pavilion. So in the different markets and regions around the world, we now are starting to get that playbook, shall we say, to go and do this. So anyone out there, if there is an expo in your city, in your region, buddy up, bring people together, reach out to the events committee. We'll hook you up with people that have been running these, and this is community-led initiatives. Thank you.
Yep.
Next question, also by Anonymous. Is the documentation AI tool already available somewhere?
I'll take that one. The short answer is no, it's not available currently. We're still working on some tweaks, but we are looking to add it to the Magento open source GitHub repo when that is done so that everybody can have a look, install it themselves, and create guides using the AI in order to update the documentation. So that's still work in progress.
Here we go. Ritesh takes the next 10 minutes, I suppose.
No, this is a very simple question. Pricing for Adobe Commerce as a cloud service, similar to PaaS. In fact, there is a price protection offering that our reps can provide, which means that customers who are already using another flavor of commerce, it's not more expensive. Again, if someone is asking this question in relation to, does this, provide something for really small SMB businesses who can go into the SaaS, that is not where Commerce as a cloud service is right now. That is where Magento open source should do its trick. So anyway, from a pricing perspective, that's where we're at right now. And I'll go ahead and answer this next one too.
Yes, a couple more.
Or simple answer to this, no. Nothing is being replaced because, again, as I mentioned, we are continuing to support the Magento open source code base. So the Magento Commerce Marketplace continues to exist. In fact, now we're going to have two marketplaces, one which is focused on App Builder and the rest of the Adobe apps as well in exchange. And nothing changes with the existing marketplace as we know it today. In fact, submissions, approvals, everything is the same. Okay, the next one. Oops.
Oh.
I think the question was about App Builder for open source.
Yeah.
It is nothing has been announced from that perspective. I don't know of any plans to move in that direction. The fundamental problem is not bringing App Builder out to the community, but the fact of the matter is that it runs on Adobe infrastructure and the costs associated with that. So maybe this is a good reach out to the community if there is interest in that, and there's a way that someone can creatively figure out how to make the commercials work from an Adobe perspective. I'm open to it, and I'm more than happy to take that message back. So it's not that Adobe is holding back App Builder from the community. We'd love everyone to use it. It's just a cost issue. We can't offer it for free, is what I know for right now.
Yeah, and maybe I can help on the rumor. It's not a plan. It was wishful thinking, which sparked in Meet Magento UK in London in summer. Where one of the Adobe representatives was like, hey, what would be amazing if we had this? And I think that's where that came from. Just to clear up that rumor here a little bit.
Okay, yeah, perfect. And so it's not a no. It's just we have to make it work. So if anyone has clever ideas, I'm all ears. I'd love to bring App Builder into open source. Okay.
Right. Yeah, moving on.
Yes. So next question is, who's the designer for the open source docs? They look great.
Well, thank you. That's amazing. I'll pass it along for sure. So the designs have been created by Christopher Dawson. He previously also did designs for Meet Magento UK, if I'm not mistaken. And he will also be working on the more general branding guidelines of the new Magento open source brand that we're looking for.
Yep, amazing guy. I have to say that. Plus best studio name ever. My First Ray Gun is amazing.
Moving on, another question directed towards Ritesh. What is Adobe's plan to respond to agentic commerce evolution and shop plan forms integrating into ChatGPT with instant checkout?
So I assume Anonymous read Stripe's press release that came out on Monday. So totally aware of that. Yes, I mean, we are, as you can imagine, and I hinted at that a little bit earlier, right? There is an AI roadmap within Adobe. We're trying to formulate which ones we prioritize. Agentic commerce is definitely on that list of things we're looking at. In fact, a week before Stripe's announcement, we had a press release where Lonnie actually had a quote where we joined the Google Alliance of they're putting together an open consortium of different people to create sort of that agentic checkout, including, you know, what surface, what payment providers, what e-commerce platforms, and how can everyone plug in. There are a lot of people that were associated with that press release, so it's a much bigger, I think, initiative. But yes, there are things going on. Nothing tangible to announce right now, but definitely things in the works. And as things become more concrete, you'll hear about them from me at Meet Magento events, or you'll see Adobe press releases for sure.
All right. I'm going to stick you with the rest of the questions in order. So I think there's like
another
two more.
question directed at Ritesh and Adobe. Which backend commerce platforms is SEO compatible out of the box? How many hours would it take to connect to a system that's not OOTP compatible?
Yes. So my understanding, and you know, if anyone has further questions, I can put you in touch with the actual product experts of ACO. But it is through the catalog service. We have a connector that can ingest the catalog from any backend system. So, you know, think Salesforce, think Commerce Tools, think Oracle, and really it is the magic of this would be, you know, ingesting that catalog data from the external system, and then once we've got that catalog data in that catalog service, then the rest of the front end presentment and all the functionality associated with that happens properly. None of the back end services, so you wouldn't be replacing your shipping, your tax, your payments offering, but it's really just getting that catalog data, and then we organize it in a way that it can be presented. So the simple answer to this is any e-commerce platform. I don't know how many hours it would take. That's for one that's not out of the box compliant. I think we have a connector that's available for most, but if there's any specific questions, reach out to me and I can put you in touch with the right ACO product and engineering folk.
Awesome. And I have the last one for you, and then you let go.
There were rumors about Magento security patches ending in 2028. Can you confirm or deny?
Yeah, I can deny. It was again, I think it was just a interpretation of how this was presented. I can't remember what the exact message was, but you know, I think it was basically, hey, you know, if you're on I can't remember, if you're on a particular version, we'll at least support you till 2028. Doesn't mean we will only support you till 2028. So as far as I know, again, there is no end date. There's not even a talk about ending Magento open source support, security patches, any of that type of stuff. So as of right now, I have no information. I double checked this with both engineering and product leadership and got scratched heads is the response, which is good for us. Ollie, question?
Yeah, that horseshit blog post that seemed to have set the cat amongst the pigeons on that, the date he's referencing is the release notes for that version of Magento, of when that version of Magento will no longer have support dates. Like, man, it's not a question, it's just out shitty behavior by people. Sorry.
Did you know that WordPress 2.4 also is out of support now?
Anywho.
It's like, yeah.
And if there is something, Ollie, to your point, if it's just the way something is written and interpreted incorrectly, I'm all for taking that back to whoever does a release notes, and we can improve on our grammar. But there is no, in spirit, there is no intention to end anything. Pearl, did you have a comment?
Just I wanted to add that, reiterate that our support policy of 3 years, like from the date of GA, is still there. So we released 248 this year, so that will be supported until 2028. And then for 249, alphas are already out for the community. We have released 2 alphas, and the third one is going to be out in October, right this month. So like Ritesh said, we can only deny.
And all of that stuff that I showed, all of those items that are being merged by the community in Adobe, those are available in that alpha that Parul talked about. So if you want to see all that work and all of that functionality in action, take advantage of that 249 alpha.
Yep. All right. Moving on, something got upvoted.
Yes. Ursula, if you're still here, I don't really see the question in your comment. Maybe you can go ahead and pose the entire question again, and we can circle back to it later.
Jorge, I think it's the question whether Adobe plans to add new functionality to Adobe Commerce, like POS, analytics, whatever. So Ritesh, back to you.
I mean, our stance is the same as it is. Like, we've got some built-in functionality. I think the rest of it is enhanced through, partners in the community by building add-ons. So I don't see any of these things as things that will be built in, at least to PaaS. Now, on our SaaS platform, there may be some stuff like additional logging, possibly simple analytics, those type of things that make sense to be available on a SaaS platform are probably going to be built in. But I don't see like an enhanced SEO or POS integration like that. We would rely on partners to continue to offer that.
All right. Let me smack this.
So the
Here we
next
go.
question is, do the 3 slate candidates represent the last of the people about to be appointed to the board?
I would say the latest, because we intend to do elections next year as well. So it's not the final list of people that go onto the board. Andreas, Slava, any additional input? Or maybe I got the question wrong.
Unless you want me to, I can clear it as well. Looks like Andreas maybe not in a good spot. So I will answer that MA plans to run elections every year, and both slate and direct tracks will be part of it as per our bylaws. And that's for this year. The election cycle is concluded, so those people get 2-year terms. But every year, some terms are going to elapse. So next year, we're going to have elections again, and so we'll continue every year. Hopefully, that answers the question. And I see another one about the timeline, so I can take that as well. The official term starts from 1st of January 2026 and goes on for 2 years. And Jakub Winkler, elected through direct track, his term starts the same, but you see him already on the board just because Willem Wigman resigned earlier due to family circumstances. So we had a free seat until the end of the year, which Jakub is occupying under that mandate, and then he'll have his term for 2 years.
Positive family circumstances, I might add.
Family circumstances, yeah.
Before the next rumors keep pushing and putting up.
I see we're at time, so
yep.
Just to be respectful for everyone's time, we'll need to wrap up. And thank everybody for, unless Ritesh, you want to take care of the remaining question.
I could do the first 2 really quickly. App Builder, Brent, if we're talking about for commerce and ACCS, App Builder is available. We've got people that are building front end, back end through front end through content blocks on ACCS right now. We're continuing to add other extensions and endpoints. If anyone in the community wants to learn or build an App Builder app, we're right now offering the ability for people to get access to sandboxes and App Builder so that you can build and publish. That would be the commitment that you make. If you're interested in that, email me, and I've got someone on my team who will help get that set up. And then I'll quickly touch upon this next question on Magento open source and Magento Association. There, that one. This is great news. I mean, I am so excited to see the organization of the website, the documentation. I'll say it. I don't think Adobe was doing as good of a job as I've seen this organization. We just talked about praise to the docs and stuff like that. I think it's a collaboration. I think this is perfect. We're going to continue to work together. That's why the Magento Association exists, for Adobe to be connected to the community. So I don't see any dismiss in the collaboration. In fact, I think a lot of this stuff that Magento Association as a group is picking up is stuff that Adobe was doing, but probably not doing as well. And so the fact that we're now dividing and conquering together is only a good thing. So thank you.
Thanks. And I would ask on the rest of the questions, if somebody has the problems with payments in India, please reach out to our staff through the website. Matthias Jorg will help you get the payment sorted. And on technical details, I think you can send an email to Ritesh and Pearl. They'll get it sorted. But again, just to be respectful of everyone's time, I want to thank again everybody for participating in this town hall. Thank you for being out there for us. Thanks for contributing, to all the board members, to everybody who hosts events, attends events, contribute to marketing on any other way. We are a really big, powerful ecosystem. I think it's unprecedented what we are able to do together. So looking forward to more of that. Please be a member, apply for the board when you have a chance, apply for a committee when you have an interest, and let's build this wonderful community further together. Thank you very much.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, everyone. And then I stop sharing this. Go here. That works. Okay. Bye-bye, everyone.